Facebook. We're coming to you live through Melon. I'm on tonight with Claudine
Hi.
P. I think we're live anyway. You guys bear with us if anyone is on already. It's our first time going through this platform and split screening, so we're going to be checking on some technical stuff tonight.
It's on Facebook. I can see it.
Can you see it on Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's working. This is a much better platform, you guys, to work through than Facebook. We tried, Claudine and Jack tried to figure out how to add or to split screen, and it wasn't working on Facebook. So we're going through a platform called Melon. So far, so good, you guys. So, hey, thanks for being live with us. Thought I had some music queued up. There it goes. Intuitive Heart Radio, you guys. Thanks for joining. I'm Abigail. And again, we've got Claudine P. in-house tonight. Hey, we're on there.
We got 5 people logged on.
Okay. All right, we need them to make some comments so we can see if they pop up here. Oh, shit.
Look inside, girl.
So they're showing up on Facebook, but they're not showing up on I don't see them anymore.
Hold on, let's see. Accept Facebook profile. Wait, here we go. There's Samantha. It looks like she's coming in through J Project. Little girl. I don't know why it says I'll accept Facebook profile, so we can't get our comments from Facebook.
Stone. Did you see that one? There it goes. Lisa Captain said, "Hi, Abby and your friend."
So we can see them?
I guess they can see us.
Okay, yay. And Lisa, are you coming in through
Looks
Facebook,
like
love? Because I was going to say that looks like YouTube again.
Wow, it's coming through YouTube. That's cool.
Okay. And then you guys, again, anyone live, thanks for being here tonight. Bear with us. We are just learning how to use this new platform. And we're currently trying to figure out how to get our comments to come up from Facebook on the Melon platform.
Jackie said, "Love the matching outfits."
Okay, let's just explain that right off the bat. And we were like, we're not changing because we did not do this on purpose. But what was really funny is I first came in with this on and I had a gray like jacket over the top. And so then when I get warm and I'll layer when I do, videos because it'll get hot or cold depending on whether the air went on or off. And when you're channeling, your temperature goes up and down. So anyway, I come in here and I see Claudine and I'm like, oh my God, we're in like matching outfits. But I had my gray over and I'm thinking, okay, does it matter? I guess it doesn't really matter. We're going to look like Twixies if I take this off. So I take it off and I tell her like, oh my God, like we did this on purpose. Then I go out to check on some food I had cooking and she decides to fuck with me. She puts on her gray sweater, which I took mine out, but I had a gray one on just like that. Like same style, just a loose.
And you have to put your green one on.
And then when I go out there, literally Spirit told me to change into my army jacket. So she was trying to mess with me to put the gray one on and I come in this. And then she goes and gets that. My glasses on now. And we both got our hair tied and back. It was just kind of funny because I was like, we didn't talk to each other since this morning and we certainly didn't plan our outfits, but that's how that worked, you guys. All right, so we still don't have comments coming in from Facebook. Right here it says all except Facebook profile. Okay, we currently do not support sending messages to Facebook groups.
So here's the thing. I can be the moderator because I've got it on my phone and I can see the Facebook comments. So I'll just interject and write them down, and then as you
Okay. Okay, well, that's the only bummer. And then for anyone else, if you guys are looking for a media platform where you can go live and then have it go to several different places tonight, we're just utilizing Facebook and YouTube, but we're going to look into some other platforms. I know J Project and myself, I have Instagram, but I don't really use it. But we're going to look into some other platforms. If you guys have some suggestions like Parler, I don't know what, Twitch, or whatever people are using right now, maybe let us know and we'll be able to add. But you can do, I think, 5, if not 6 different locations, and you just go live from this one place and it just spits it out there all over social media, which is great. Makes it a lot easier. Claudine's on tonight, guys. Claudine's with us from Los Angeles, California. I don't know if anyone's watching, but I mean, I'm originally from California as well, and lived in Southern California and LA for quite a while, almost 10 years. And anyway, so she's coming to us live from there. I'm in Memphis right now. I think most of you kind of know that. And we're going to talk about really your comments tonight. For me, if we figured this out today and we were able to get live without any major technical issue, and we have sound and our cameras work, so that was really what we were shooting for. That was my primary goal, that and to come on here and have some fun with you guys. Did have some requests. People asked about Anne Heche. Claudine and I were thinking, especially since she's in LA, we might focus a little bit on Hollywood and the Illuminati tonight, but we're also just kind of taking your questions. If you guys have questions, I'd like to keep it away from being personal, and let me kind of go there as well, because I wanted to start out with that. And so let me say this, guys. Do I want to go there, Claudine? Yeah, I got to go there, don't I?
I think that's a good place to start until the questions come, because I'm looking at all the questions and nobody's asking questions yet.
Okay.
It's lucky, but she figured it out. She wanted to know what's the YouTube channel, and it's the J Project.
J Project Productions, yes. Okay, so here's a gig, guys. I've worked as a ministry since I started, which now has been 2000, I guess 9 or 10, 2009, certainly internship. I've worked as a ministry, which means that I've accepted whatever donations, whatever people said they could afford. And recently, and I brought this up a little bit, I know I look okay tonight, but that's because I'm coming back off some prednisone, but there's something going on. I do not have insurance, guys. I've spent every dime I've earned over the last 10 years pretty much on justice. And I've spent as much time giving my time away pro bono on cases, and for people that, either couldn't afford it, or maybe we were exchanging, energy for energy or whatever that is. I can't do it anymore. I'm drowning. I can't even afford the medical stuff that I'm having to do now. The doctors I've had to see to try and find out what's going on with my body. I mean, yes, I'm a faith healer, but medicine and intuition, we were meant to work together. It's 50-50. It's 50-50. It's supposed to be about mastering the 3D and working intuitively. And again, I don't want to get too into that tonight, because again, it's also teaching me to be more of a faith healer. I'm glad for the experience, but it's real, whatever this is that's going on, it's 10 out of 10 pain with me. And I may be going back into that. And I've been frustrated because the last 3 sessions that I've had, pretty much, not the last 3. And so I'm going to go back to, this piece. Well, actually, yes, the last 3 sessions. Claudine made a donation. Claudine, I just want to thank you. I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and call you out. I've never asked you to do it, but since day one, and Claudine just found me like a lot of you guys did because of the video that I made for Prince back in 2016. I think you didn't, not to say you were sure, but I mean, we didn't even meet until a couple of years after that, I believe, correct? After his death.
Right. Right.
And so I haven't even known Claudine very long, but what's beautiful is just like, without asking her, and she's been such a great friend, she holds a lot of space for me as well, and doesn't just ask for, like me to hold space for her. And I appreciate that so much. But, Claudine knew I needed help and she put it out there. And so I really want to thank her for doing that. And I want to thank Jack just for making a donation. Like, you guys didn't even ask for my time. You just donated because it's making me cry. But like, when I tell you I was in need, I was down to $40 in my bank account and that's making me cry. I don't want to cry. And I have people asking me for my time. And the last 3 sessions that I gave my time to, over an hour for each session. Sometimes I work with somebody for almost 2 hours, on one session. And the last 2 people donated $25 each. And then someone I know that's like a nurse. She's been a nurse for years. She's an RN. I'm sure she is making some bucks per hour, for God's sakes. And she works in pediatric cardiology. Took at least 2.5 hours of my time. And you guys, the other thing that I want to explain about that is doing the work that I do. You can't just whip it out. It's not like cutting hair. I have to change my focus. I have to clear anything that I'm worried about, anything that's going on in my life, emotional pain, physical pain, anxiety. Any of that cannot be in the way. Like, you have got to know how to clear your head and put yourself completely out of the way to focus completely on someone else and to hear spirit, not yourself, but to hear God talking about that other human being. And you have to be able to hold this space of unconditional, non-judgmental love and appreciation for that person, no matter what shitstorm is going on in your own life. So like, if you really think about it, it's not like I could do more than three or 4 sessions a day would be exhausting, because not only that, but I'm inviting in that person's stress. If I channel their loved one, oh my God, that could knock me out and make me just want to take a nap. Infinite love and gratitude, especially if it's incredibly sad, because experiencing those emotions, it takes a toll on all of us, no matter, where you're at. So I hope you guys get this. But, to offer me that, there's no way. How would I ever make a living if all I made was about $60 to $80 on 6 hours of work with people? And then I have people that just want to continue asking for my time. So guys, I'm not doing that anymore. It's $88 for a 40-minute session. And it's $111 for a regular session from now on. The ministry is still the ministry, but I reserve my time fighting for justice for the cases and not for individuals at this time. And I'm not mad at anybody, you guys. I'm not mad at anybody. But here's also what happens. People say, well, yeah, but we're good friends, Abigail. You're my friend. I just want to reach out and just going to touch base, and we're friends. Guys, could you have time for even 50 friends? 40 friends? Every time something comes up in their life, or they want a validation or a check-in or a job change, or your cat dies, or or whatever, you're going through a divorce, people have trauma. This is what life is. I don't have time. I cannot give that kind of time away for free anymore. I've done it to my own detriment, to my own, I didn't take care of my own health, and now I'm absolutely drowning, and I still don't want to tell people no. I still don't want to tell people no. And that's making me mad. So no, I'm telling you all today, no. I've been here with my door open, and some of you should have taken advantage of that before now. Some of you, and that's one more thing I want to say, man. Some of y'all, you don't even understand. You think you know because you woke up or whatever. We all have to do our emotional work. You guys wonder why you're having these emotions or these feelings you're not clearing. You're not utilizing me and what I do properly anyway. I'm not just there for emergencies, for people, like your good friend and buddy, that's just going to be there when you need me. No. And here's last thing I have to say, and then let's take it to questions. Hopefully someone has some. But I'm so tired of this, because then what I have to do is I have to pick or choose what feels like reciprocal energy to me. And then people get butthurt because they feel like somehow it's rejection, like I'm rejecting them, like, oh, this person's a better friend than that person, or she likes her or him better than me. It has nothing to do with that. It's time. I don't have time in my life to just give my time away to everybody. And I've got somebody in mind right here, Infinite Love and Gratitude, and I hope she's listening tonight. Because it's just this thing, guys. You can't just text me all the time and want me to sit down and take 5 or 10 minutes when I have people doing that to me all day long and throughout the week. So please book a session, and and if you can't, actually no, book a session if you can pay me. And if you can't, guys, I love you, and I'll see you on the flip side. I'm not working as a ministry and giving my time away anymore. Okay. All right, I hope there's still some people on there watching.
We got 17 people from Facebook, and it looks like there's 2 or 3 streaming from YouTube. So the first question came in was Anne Heche. By the way, everybody's giving you love, supporting you, telling you right on. They're proud of you, giving you thumbs up. You know that they're on board. So
awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you guys again. Thank you for that, and appreciate you guys letting me say it. Anyway, Anne Heche. Everyone wants to talk about Anne Heche. And this blows my mind, but you know, it's kind of funny. I thought about this earlier today. It's like what we're seeing in the news. Like, first of all, this administration didn't even win the last election. Like, we've had a fake president, a fraudulent president, and especially vice president for the last 3 damn years. You can't believe anything that you're seeing, you know, the white hats or the good guys versus the bad guys. I don't care who you are. It is so hard to even tell who's a good guy or a bad guy. We've got bad guys acting like good guys. We've got good guys who are bad guys. We've got them good guys lying on purpose so that the bad guys don't know what's going on. Like, there is so much craziness going on that what I would say, man, is back out of all of it. But going back to the Anne Heche thing, you know, for a while I thought, this is so crazy that people are so into this. I mean, just what happened to her. And in a way, I kind of get it. I'm fascinated by it as well. And I have been asking about it. It's a tough read. And it's a tough read for me because what I'm receiving blows my mind. But going back to why I'm thinking, why not talk about Anne Heche? Because, you know, Anne Heche and what happened to her is no less shallow or no less valid than the rest of this bullshit that's supposed to be politics right now, because you can't believe any of them or what's going on for the most part. So, and I got to say this too, because Hollywood is going to play a huge role in Revelation, and that's because that it gets people's attention. So what happened to Anne Heche? Well, and you guys, and you know this, but please, there's no such thing as psychics. Anybody can learn to have a prophetic communication. You have prophetic communication and relationship with your creator, with God, with Abba, from your Jay, with your spirit guides. So anyway, going back to this, many of you, I don't know if you remember, I don't know what year it was. If you know, it was during the time when Anne Heche was dating Ellen DeGeneres. Which I'm sure this was probably pretty well set up as well. Most of the relationships in Hollywood, you guys, are set up in some way. They're either manipulated or directly set up. There's a term they used to use back in the 40s and 50s called a beard, and they still use that term today. And it just means it's like a fake wife, okay, or it's a fake husband that you use. And you're safer in Hollywood if you're married. You're safer if you're married. You're especially safer in Hollywood if you marry who they want you to marry. So if your alignment is okay with the Illuminati, then you're very safe, at least until you piss somebody off. But anyway, going back into this with Anne Heche, so many of you remember she was dating Ellen DeGeneres, but I thought it was funny because when this shit first happened, Ellen tried to distance herself from all of it. She's like, I haven't talked to that bitch in years. And then as soon as she died, of course, because then it's like, you know, it's correct, publicly correct, you know, then for her to, you know, she writes this, you know, whatever flowery, you know, goodbye, you know, to Anne Heche and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so I just so tired of all the bullshit from everybody, actually, but especially Ellen. Like, oh my God, would she please just. Anyway, but going back to this, so many of you may remember, and maybe some of you guys might not, but Anne Heche was literally, I think she was arrested, but like she was on the news. I know she was, if she wasn't arrested, she should have been arrested because they arrested Kevin and I for cheating ourselves to a tree buck-ass naked. And she was running through a Beverly Hills neighborhood buck-ass naked. And she was, I know, at least detained by the cops. And when they asked her why she was running through a Beverly Hills neighborhood naked, she literally said that she'd been dropped there by aliens, which I know many of you listening would be like, okay, she probably was. Okay, great. I don't think she was. I think this has to do with MK Ultra. I think this has to do with manipulation within the Illuminati. And when I asked why Anne Heche, like why again this odd, unusual I mean, to me, running through a neighborhood naked in Film Gratitude with no apparent purpose and then telling people publicly, and she was a movie star. She'd made movies. And then after this happened, she continued making a few movies, I think. I don't know the movies Anne Heche has even made. I think she made one with Harrison Ford, right? And she's not, I mean, she hasn't made a ton, correct? Claudine, she's not made a ton of movies.
No, I was just looking her up right now on my getting her her list of movies and Running Naked, and I was trying to get that off up here too. I mean, everybody knows who she is because of Ellen DeGeneres. But yeah, she was like moderate movie star. She
I
was
don't think
very
she's
good in
ever
most
stood out. It feels like a, sorry, babe, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I don't think, it doesn't feel like she's ever stood out. It kind of feels like a Kelly Preston, you know, like when Robin came through and told Kelly, like, no one remembers the first movie you made, Kelly, like, calm down. You know, like, no one's chomping at the bit for your next one. So I feel like Anne Heche was kind of in the same category. The reason I'd have to say this is because I haven't watched movies or watched television for almost 15 years now. So I'm so freaking out of touch, you guys. I did not. Lady Gaga had to wear a dress made of meat before I knew who she was. Like, literally. I don't know if anyone remembers that too, but she did that some years ago. So going back to this, they like to fuck with Anne Heche. One, and I'm getting this right now, and I just got chills. She's easy to fuck with. She's very easy to fuck with. Probably, they also say she's like somebody doesn't care for her. I don't think they've ever felt that she was ever a very good like sell. They could never really sell her to Hollywood. That she was kind of a wild card. I think that what I get is that they felt like she was kind of weird, kind of a weirdo. She never really fit in, you know, even though I guess she could act because she did make the movies. And she never made them very much money. She was never going to be a big cha-ching. And so they have to use each of these people for something. And I feel like somebody, and it's more than one person, as I can feel at least 3 or 4 people that like to laugh about her together. Chills. I just felt that. Infinite love and gratitude. And these would be people that regularly, that know they can manipulate entertainers. They know they can manipulate people in Hollywood. And you got to think about this, and this was shown to me the other day. So like, let's say you're Matt McConaughey, Turkey Burger, okay? And that's my name for him, you guys. Turkey Burger. So let's say you're Turkey Burger. Your love and gratitude, and you're big time. But let's say someone really high up at Warner Brothers, someone like really high up, like this is the man. They're gonna call you and they're gonna say, hey, Matt, what are you doing these days? Or long time no see, buddy. Hey, we need you to do this thing for us with Snoop Dogg. We need you to make this movie. It's kind of a favor, man, but we really need you to do it. If he tells that person no, it's not going to go over well in Hollywood. Makes sense? It's not going to go over well. Infinite love and gratitude. So, why would someone make a comment?
Yeah, Jackie said infinite love and Turkey Burger. Sorry.
It's great too, because I think he said one time burgers are his favorite food, so that's great. Anyway, going back to this and going back to Anne Heche, they will fuck with people in Hollywood, and especially what I get from her is just that there was nothing else. She was never going to be a moneymaker. She's now on her way out. I mean, the minute you hit your 50s in Hollywood, they're looking at you hard. Ask infinite love and gratitude, because they want to know which way you're going to go and if you're going to remain sellable for a few more years. And so again, Anne was somebody that was easily messed with. And this like, look at what this has created. This is what blows my mind about this. People like, it's still on the news, still today, still headlines today about Anne Heche being taken off. And so what are they covering up, I guess, is what I want to know. What are they using this to cover up? And if you guys have noticed, and I know many of you may know, but months ago I told them, I said to you guys, it is killing season in Hollywood. They want to cha-ching as much. It's about the life insurance policies on these folks, and they want to get as much money as they can off these life insurance policies and taking people out in Hollywood. At the same time, they're using it for the sensationalism, for the news media to cover up whatever else is going on, or to keep our monkey brains off of China, off of Biden, off of all the shit that is literally going on. And what's funny to me is, like, do they really have to use anything? I mean, we just had Biden giving our oil reserves to a fucking company in China that his son is a CEO of. I believe that's how it goes, right? And no one said a word. So it just is amazing to me that they think they even have to create these sensational news stories to keep us from paying attention, because it doesn't look like anybody cares. That man shouldn't have been president the last 3 years, but after what he just did, and the fact that no one in this country is even standing up to do a damn thing about it, is just, oh my God, any flood gratitude. It's all gone crazy. But going back to that, are there any more questions on Anne Heche? Because again, oh gosh, no, we didn't even finish it. What would make her do that? Why are people listening to this? Because, man, even with some of the crazy stuff that I have heard working cases, over the last, however long it's been now, 12, 13 years, this was such a fucking weird one. Really such a weird one. And when they got the results back, which I had a feeling, I didn't feel like they were going to find anything too crazy in her blood. They said she was doing some cocaine. There is no way cocaine is going to make anybody drive 100 miles per hour, which I believe is easily what she was doing in Flow of Gratitude, through a neighborhood and intentionally drive into a house. That's what she did. Infinite love and gratitude. And what I get on this one, and again, it's a tough read for me, but I believe she was told that literally she had to do this. And I believe that if she didn't do this, and there's going to be a lot of people that are like, what? Yeah, Kate Spade. Right after, 2 days after his wife died, Kate Spade's husband comes out dressed in a mouse suit from the movie The Rescuers. And he held a press conference in a fucking mouse suit. Ask. And no one says anything. Do you know what I mean? We just all go, wow, that's weird. And then we just go on about our business. Like, that's normal in Hollywood. Like, this is just normal now in Hollywood. Let's go back to Robin Williams. Why? Because it's all going to tie together. Robin he slit his left wrist, and that's in the autopsy. And he told me he couldn't stand the blood. He just couldn't do it. He couldn't kill himself. I said, Robin, if you couldn't kill yourself, because I told him this. I said, this doesn't feel like a suicide, Robin. I could feel the energy. It's not right. There was something very desperate about this energy, but it wasn't the guilt. When people commit suicide, I don't care. I've worked so many suicides, easily 100. So when you work with that many people out of body who committed suicide, there's an energy. Even though every suicide is different, just like every single person, there is an energy that screams suicide. What it screams is personal responsibility. Personal responsibility. And there's a certain amount of guilt and or remorse that comes with this overwhelming feeling that this person who has killed themselves is going to be carrying. And I've never worked a suicide ever that did not have this personal responsibility. I did not feel that with Robin. And that's when I asked him, I said, why did you do this? And he said, they threatened my family. They were going to kill my little girl. That's making me cry. You guys ask. See, that's the emotion I need. That's not me. That's God letting me know that was right. Yeah. And it wasn't just his little girl. They said they'd take Zelda first, but like, if he didn't comply and his family didn't comply, they'd all go eventually. They would take every child he had. I think he's got 3. I think it's 3. In Blood Gratitude, but they'll start with your firstborn, and that's like an Illuminati thing. And that is because some of these entertainers, they make so much money on them that they don't hold them. So let's take the Kardashians, Ye-Z, Bouncy B, in Blood Gratitude. They are already signed into the Illuminati. They're paid in. J-Lo, Ben Affleck, they're paid into the club, and they've already played some of the games, and they are like secured. If you guys want to know what that means, it means they've already sacrificed. They've either given their firstborn, which many of these entertainers actually have a surrogate, okay, and they literally have the surrogate have the baby, and then the baby is literally given to the Illuminati. I would never make this shit up, and I would never, ever, ever make this shit up, nor would I have ever believed it. So people are like, that can't be true. People wouldn't do that. Yeah, they do. They really do this shit. If Love and Gratitude. They also have what's called putting someone's name in a hat. And I've talked about that before, but that's how Kim Porter died. J-Lo was pissed because when she was dating P. Diddy, Diddlywinks, in Love and Gratitude, he was never faithful to her, and she does not tolerate that. She thinks she's above anyone else. Like, if you have her, she's the best of the best. She's one of the most narcissistic individuals I have ever. Her energy, just because I've been working with it lately, because this kept being shown to me what happened to Kim Porter. And it's funny because I've told you guys this before, that I could feel this connection. Like, she just cannot let go of P. Diddy. And I knew it was because he basically broke it with her. And that's because she was so fucking controlling, and she thought she was going to be his only one. Well, in the hip hop industry, those guys don't play. They're not just going to fuck one woman. Okay, they're going to fuck as many women as they want. And if you want to be their queen, the one that they take care of, and the one that's the center of their universe, you will keep your damn mouth shut, and they will fuck whoever they want. That's the way it works. Not if you're J-Lo. If it's J-Lo, it's Love and Gratitude. And so she was pissed. And apparently Kim Porter was who, ask you guys if it's true, Kim Porter is who he cheated on her with. I think that was the primary one. It wasn't the only one, but it's the one that pissed J-Lo off. So what happens when you're in the Illuminati, and I don't know when this happens, but apparently once a year they draw a name from a hat, and whoever's name gets pulled, whoever put that person in the hat is responsible to make sure their hit gets carried out. This is part of what they call thinning the herd. Okay, because you can't just keep bringing entertainers in. They got to be going out as well. Do you understand? Because all of us, the population, we're only going to spend so much money on their movies and their music. Do you see what I'm saying? We're going to choose, but we're not going to spend double just because they keep making stars. So if they make a star, they got to kind of take a star. All right. Otherwise, if they don't thin the herd, none of them are going to make as much moolah. You guys get it? Am I making sense? People getting this? So with that said, it's J-Lo's fault. She put Kim Porter's name in the hat. And when you do this, you don't know. They might not get picked for 5 years or 7 years. It could be 2 years. It could be up the next year. This is also what happened to Mac Miller. Please ask if what I'm saying is true. Okay, this is what happens when you date in Hollywood. You might get your name put in the hat because somebody decides that they don't want you dating Ariana Grande, Mac. Yeah, they want to be dating Ariana Grande, right? I can't stand that guy. The one that just Kardashian just dumped his ass, Pete. Fucking Pete. Pete got Mac Miller killed because Pete wanted to fuck Ariana Grande. Infinite Love and Gratitude. Anyway, anyone, you guys getting this? So
Connie,
going back to
here, Connie Cook said, I just heard this year it was Will and Jada.
You just heard what was Will and Jada?
Connie Cook said, I just heard this year it was Will and Jada. I guess in the hat, the name in the hat.
Somebody put him in the hat? You know what? As soon as I hear that, Will and Jada are quite protected for some reason by the Illuminati. Their family's almost like, and that doesn't mean that can't switch on a dime. You can piss the wrong person off or do the wrong thing, but they're quite protected. I don't see them going out anytime soon. Someone might have put him in the hat, but I don't see them going out anytime soon. Going back to finish this with Anne Heche again, I just want to make sure I was clear on that. I feel like she was threatened. I feel like they threatened her son in particular, but her entire family. And you got to realize to these people, and this sounds weird to me, but I mean, I've worked on it for a long time now. For some of these people to live without the fame that they have and the wealth, the money, they'd rather die. And for some of these people, for most of them actually, they also understand that they've now brought children into the world that are basically worthless people, because they've been raised famous with money, people doing things with them, drivers, private schools, always having what they need, whatever that is. And a lot of these kids are not even taught how to clean up after themselves. They couldn't clean their fucking bathroom or do their laundry if they had to. And I gotta tell you, ask. Robin Williams told me this first. He told me it first. He said, I love my children. He said, but at a certain point, I realized I had brought worthless people into the planet. I literally created worthless people. Infinite love and gratitude. Go ahead.
So there's Connie Cook again says Anne Heche just did a documentary on sex trafficking in Hollywood and named the Hollywood people. Did you hear about that?
No, which is why I love to, now when I say this, it's beautiful you're bringing it up now, but this is why I don't listen to any of that. I only want to hear what Dad says. And again, that ties into what I'm saying. They told her to do this, infinite love and gratitude, and she pissed somebody off. They never liked her anyway. So all of that ties into it. Can I say it? Do I know if that's for sure true? Not unless I hear it from Dad, but sounds right. Sounds right, you know. And if I ever get absolute validation on something, a lot of people think that being psychic, which we're all psychic, but being prophetic is instantaneous. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. You know, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Depends what it is. Sometimes the question that you're asking is not posed in the right way. Sometimes the answer is not an easy one, because you guys got to remember both things are true with God as well. But I mean, you know, that makes a lot of sense, and it makes sense that they would have her do something drastic like that. What I see about these guys, you know, the war's coming anyway. They know a lot of this, which is why they're wanting to kill as many people as possible and collect on those insurance policies. I really think because the dollar's changing, just so much is going to change, you guys, so much. And so with that said, they're trying to get as much cha-ching as they can before these massive changes happen here in America and on the planet. But going back to that again, it's like the Illuminati, they know what's coming. Like the world's about to get so crazy that they're just putting like the pedal to the metal on crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like there isn't anything that I wouldn't put past them. And so, you know, I'll go there. I'm going to go ahead, and this stuff used to scare the hell out of me. I don't really care anymore, but you know, just meaning you got to stick with the first read. And so I'm going to go back with the first read. As soon as I saw this thing with Anne Heche, it made me think of Turkey Burger, because if there's no way they're going to let him run. Well, he's not going to win governor anyway, especially not on the platform. He thinks he's going to tell people from Texas to give up their guns and become governor. I don't think that's going to work. But number two, I don't think he's going to fool the people from Texas, even though he's a Texan either. But with that said, it's been shown to me. I think it was less than a year after Prince died that I was shown that we call him Turkey Burger, McConaughey is one of their targets. And I do believe that an attempt will be made on his life. So I'm going to call it again here. I've said that many, many times. I do believe that something very, very traumatic is going to happen to him. I do not believe he's going to lose his life, though. I believe they're going to intend for him to. But I believe that by God's hand, he will not die. I do believe he will lose more than one family member, however. So anyway, and again, when this thing with Anne Heche came up, it just felt for some reason to me like that was closer than ever. And the comparison they give to me with him is that basically something happening to him would be as big to the world as what happened to Elvis, as Elvis dying. And that's the way God shows it to me. And when Elvis was murdered, and he was murdered, that was to also hide weapons of war that were being sold from Lockheed Boeing here in the States over to Germany, which went completely against World War II treaty. We've been doing that over and over again. We've been selling weapons of war to Japan even, and they're not supposed to even be building their army, but they do anyway. That's all true. If anyone's got any questions on that. Yeah, China has a larger Navy than we have right now. Japan's been building their military in general, all fractions of it. I think they started about 7 to 10 years after World War II. So it's like the whole thing's been a lie. Makes sense? Whole thing's been a lie. Because if people don't know, there's a treaty put in place, and Japan is not supposed to build their military at all. And then we have, promised an alliance to take care of them, which is ridiculous. I mean, to be honest, if I was, like in charge of a country or, that high up, whatever that is, I don't think I'd ever want another country to tell me what I could and couldn't do, which takes us to Russia, because that's where Putin stands. He's not going to let anyone tell him what to do. But did we get Anne Heche finished there? Does anyone have any questions on that?
Samantha mentioned that she thinks that Ellen had her blacklisted, but I don't know how you feel about that.
Say it again?
Samantha Flintstone said that Ellen had her blacklist about Anne Heche. Ellen DeGeneres had her blacklisted in Hollywood. Anne Heche talked about it on her podcast.
Well, I mean, that's something that what the feeling that I got was not necessarily that was true or untrue, but that Ellen doesn't really have that kind of power in Hollywood is what I feel. I think
That's
Ellen,
what I would too.
yeah. It's just what I see with Ellen right now is that Ellen has had her nose up so many asses, and she knows things about like people in Flow and Gratitude, and so that is kind of keeping her safe. But I don't feel a big love in Hollywood for Ellen. I think they're getting really sick of her shit too. I just got chills on that. So I don't think Ellen has the power to blackball anybody in Hollywood right now. I think they'd like her the hell out of here. Honestly, I think Hollywood's getting tired of the lesbians. Personally, I don't know why I just said that, but that's what came through with Flow and Gratitude. That could just be me though, because I'm getting really tired of the lesbians. Flow and Gratitude. Any other questions?
So Jackie and I came across something, or Jackie came across something the other day. It's a code. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's new to me. It's called 0010110. And she wants to know what you feel it is. Is it a psych op or not? And it's about getting out. The code is about getting out of the matrix, and
I don't understand what's the. I mean, when you say code, what is it? I'm like so confused.
It's like it's a Morse code, but it's like an underground movement of people who think that this sequence of numbers 0010110 is a way to get out of the simulation and see the truth.
Okay. I'm checking in, but thing is, so like when I, started going through, I guess what I would call my awakening, which was some years ago now, so whatever, 12, 13 years ago, first thing that I started seeing was numbers on the clock, right? So the 1111, everyone talks about 1113. The numbers that I started getting were a little bit different because we dove into like 67 and 58 and Isis and Osiris and 7-8 and the 6-8 sun sign pattern. So I think, but going back to that, so to me, there's so many number sequences, all of them activate the subconscious mind. So would that number sequence, absolutely, it's 11s and zeros. That's a whole lot of love, bump, bump, whole lot of love, bump, bump. That's what it is. That's Daddy. That's Abba. That's Abba with a whole lot of love. If love, gratitude. And if your soul knows that and you understand what that circle and those 11s mean, all put together like that. If I see a license plate with 11s and zeros, or even an 830, because 8 and 3 is my favorite 11 combination. To me, 8 and 3 that's an 11. It doesn't have to be a 1-1. It's an 11. It's just another symbol that represents that 11, and it's not about the amount. The reason I love the 8 is because 8 is double bubble love, and then 3 is like getting a hug from God. 3 triadic union. I mean, it's like you're just in there. It's like an amazing group hug. So that's why I love that 83 so much. All of these things, all of these numbers, the 44, it's called the stamp of heaven. Remembering all these numbers and having God explain them to me. And if you guys don't know, how it happened, you guys are probably experiencing the same thing. I would just see these numbers all day long. First thing on the clock, every time I looked over, it was 311 or 1111 or 511 or 11, whatever, 55. And I'd be like, oh my God, it's the same numbers all the time. Well, these days, it gets so crazy. Whatever number I'm talking about will be the next number that pulls up, So I'm talking about license plates, gas pumps, receipts. I don't check my receipts now for the total. I don't care how much I just spent at the grocery store because I know my needs are met by God. I love the receipt because I want to see what my numbers are. I want to see what my numbers are. It's like Vegas. It's awesome. If love gratitude. So going back to this again, would that sequence wake people up? Absolutely. For the people that are ready, all of these numbers and symbols and symbols in love and gratitude. It's amazing. It's an entire dialogue. God doesn't have to speak to me for sure, or any of us. In a way, I still love to hear from him. I love it when he does use words and when he does channel that way. But I'm in the dialogue on the constant. It doesn't stop. It's a way of life for me. And what's beautiful about doing that, when you're so into that dialogue, so start looking for those numbers. And when you ask a question, ask for the dialogue to speak that answer to you, to validate that answer for you. Ask for those 44s and ask to see more of the same if you understand it accurately. So I always tell them all the time, Daddy, if I understand this red and yellow and the number 67 accurately, man, then I want bright green and 44s like all day long, and 11s and white Cadillacs, because Dad drives a Cadillac, and white means. Okay. He told me that one time. He said, sweetheart, because I said, Daddy, I said, what do you drive? Do you drive like a Bentley or, is it a whatever? He said, sweetheart, he said, I drive a Cadillac. So he said, because he wants it like a big cushy boat. So he said he wants it to like. So anyway, when I see white Cadillacs, that reminds me of Father God. If I get a white Cadillac with an 11, like a 110 on the back, oh, I'm freaking out. It's like my heart, I get a little heart blast. I feel him. I said, Daddy, I get chills. I said, I see you, Dad. With love attitude. So stay in that. I mean, that's the dialogue is going to wake the world. And the most beautiful part about it is when you learn to keep your eyes on the dialogue, when you're watching everything, the colors of the cars, what people are wearing, every single thing I see means something to me. To everyone, I love the gratitude, but I mean everything I see, and you can learn it so well. Anyone can. If I did it, you can. You can learn it so well. And guys, by the way, what I teach, though, you can't learn it anywhere else. You can tie it in to what other people teach because you can see where the Latin all threads it all the same. Okay, but every teacher has a different way to teach it. Everything I learn is from him. You can't go read it in a book. So you're not going to find the numbers that Dad taught to me anywhere else. And again, they're going to make sense. It's not going to contradict what someone else teaches. I haven't been like this for a while, but I got the best numbers. They're just absolutely nobody who's going to teach you the numbers better. But anyway, with that said, if you stay in that place, your mind is going to learn how to stay in the present moment. And what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to help but hear God's voice. You will not be able to help but hear God's voice. When you stay in the present moment, you are not where worried about what didn't happen yesterday or what might not happen tomorrow. You're trained, you're built to hear him. It's just most of us don't know how to stay in the present moment. The monkey brain takes over all the time. And man, you guys, you got to breathe more, please. Just remind yourself on a daily basis and breathe like you're bringing it in through the bottoms of your feet. You've got to expand that diaphragm, expand that heart chakra. I always imagine a beautiful rose opening. A lot of people like to see the heart as what's that other flower?
Lotus.
Lotus, thank you. It's a rose for me. Lotus is lovely, but it's not a rose. It's a rose. Freaking rose. Some of this stuff. Anyway, go ahead.
You want to switch gears?
Yes. Okay. Go with what you want. It's nice not to. I just want, whatever questions they have tonight.
So somebody asked earlier on, how about Ivana Trump?
On her dying? Because you mean Ivana, not Ivanka, correct? She means Ivanka's. They mean Ivanka's.
They wrote Ivana, but
okay.
Yeah.
There was nothing fishy about her crossing. She had a heart issue, just like people in my family. Everyone in my family died, a little bit earlier. What that was a spiritual thing, and I'm going to say it again. Ivanka is not going to live. Neither are her children a normal lifespan. And so Ivana was basically spared. It wasn't necessary for her soul progression this time around to experience the death of her child, and especially not the death of her child and her grandchildren, because I do believe that's what's going to happen. I believe all three of Ivanka's children will die with her at the same time. And that's like that's a sacrifice that's necessary. Literally, like, it's a huge sacrifice. That is so necessary. Her crossing, which sounds crazy if anyone has questions on that, is so necessary for Donald Trump to be who God needs him to be. It's the heart most broken that walks closest to God. And right now, Donald Trump is not woke enough. He doesn't know God enough to do what he came here to do. If he did know God well enough to do what he came here to do, then we wouldn't all be sitting here right now with a phony ass fucking president and that bitch Kamala Harris talking about inflation right now, period. So he doesn't know, and he didn't hear, and his ego is still playing games in the 3D, and I shouldn't be mad about it. So I'm gonna smile. It's really it's frustrating. It's frustrating, and I don't know if people know, but I mean, he knows who this ministry is. He knows about Justice for Prince. He knows about Lorenzen Wright's case. He's been told that his daughter is going to die, and it's frustrating. It's hard not to be believed, you know. Especially it's hard. It's like, how right does one have to do, or like how well do you have to do your job before somebody would say, hey, maybe this person knows what they're talking about. And then it's tough because, you know, in this game, it's years. I'll wait years to see if what I'm shown is going to happen, you know. So we'll sit and wait. I'm getting better with it, but I do get frustrated with him. He feels disrespectful to me. And so, you know, do I want that to happen to him? No, it's not about, I don't want it to happen to him or not want it to happen to him. I want what God needs to have happen to each one of us. And I've gotten to that place with my own life, which was not an easy place to go. It's not an easy place to get to that level of surrender. And I'll tell you guys right now, and I'm not bitching, I'm just being truthful. My life doesn't really look like I want it to look at 53, not at all. And some days it's hard not to just not to give up entirely. And physical pain lately, like the rest of it, as soon as I got comfortable, like with the rest of it, then the physical pain came on. So, like, you know, when someone says, you know, oh, don't you feel bad about what's going to happen to Donald Trump? No, I don't. I feel the gratitude. I don't. I've risked my life with, and so have other people stood right next to me on bridges. I've risked my life, and I've known it. Infinite love and gratitude. And I've known that getting into some of the stuff that God's asked me to do, you know, who knows? I don't know if I get to stay here the whole entire time. So why am I going to feel bad about what has to happen to Donald Trump when, like, we are all so close to fucking dying here? And you know what's worse than dying? We're all so freaking close right now to losing our freedom, and really we already have. So, like, why would any of us be worried about what God has to have happen to Donald Trump? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, we're so fucked right now. If you have children right now, do you understand? Your children don't even have a future. Don't even have a future, man. Infinite love and gratitude. They're killing us with vaccines. You know, if you took the vaccine, you should be more worried about cancer for yourself than what's going to happen to Donald Trump. You know, just infinite love and gratitude. He's anyway. We all need to be our own hero right now. We all need to. There's one role model, and then we all need to be heroes right now. Otherwise, we're not going to survive this. We're going to survive it because of God, and we're all going to come up, but we're all going to have to do that. Makes sense? And stop looking to someone else to save us, because anyway, I know they have some grand plan. 3 years down, we're coming up on another election, and China's about to attack us, but it's okay. Trump's going to save the day any day now, right? Oh boy, I'm just counting on that. Yep.
Do you want to talk more about China and, you know, the recent developments that have happened in the news and what we talked about the other night?
Yeah, I mean, we can go there. It's, I guess, an opportunity.
Everything's going in all these different directions. I mean, I've got Bieber questions. I've got, why is God? Why are you emasculating God? I've got.
Oh, that's okay. I love those. I love the challenging questions. What do you mean emasculating? Like, why is God? Why am I talking about Father God?
Yeah, somebody on YouTube said Dolores Cannon claims God is source and genderless. If anything, God is a woman, she says. And then she had one of these emojis like, I don't know.
No, that's not true. There's mama and daddy love. So there's a feminine and a masculine creator. And when you're here on the 3D, which is why going back to Yeshua, he spoke of Abba. Abba translated is daddy. All right. And you cannot have, and the other thing is, man, it's all about relationship. Being here on earth is all about emotions and relationship. God is all about relationship. You cannot have a relationship with a source, with a black hole, with an with a thing. You can't. You can have a relationship with your father just like Yeshua did, and your mother in flow of gratitude. And the reason it's a masculine is because on the 3D realm, the masculine energy, that's the go-go juice. That's what makes anything happen. So when you're manifesting, if you're truly here to live your destiny and to create what you wrote in heaven, your dreams that you dreamt in heaven, Navaya, it's really called Navaya. If you want to make that happen down here, you have to have that relationship with the masculine. In fact, you have to have a very balanced masculine feminine relationship within yourself, but you absolutely have to have a relationship with your masculine creator to manifest anything on the planet. And you're not going to change Father God when you die and you go to the fifth dimension, just like Jay said in the book. Some of that stuff in the book, the Christian Bible, is accurate. Even though Yeshua did not come here to start a church, and he certainly didn't start the Catholic Church in Gratitude. It started like 700 years after he died. They literally stole his name, his story, made him a poster boy. But with that said, there's still stuff in there that is real. And there's only one way into the fifth dimension, and that is through Christ Yeshua and then to the Father. So if you want to go home to the fifth dimension, you're going to have to know Abba. So you might as well get to know him ahead of time and actually get to your destiny here. Because if you just want to work with the feminine energy, Isis, whatever that is to you, because you're more comfortable, because you've still got daddy issues, you either have an ex-partner that you're angry at, someone fucked you over, or you're still mad at your own father, in love and gratitude, you're not going to vibrate correct to get to your proper destiny, to get to what you actually wrote. You're going to experience your fate, not your destiny, the fate of your choices. And again, going back to that, the feminine, you can look at it this way. The feminine energy is beautiful and just as necessary as the masculine, but the feminine is just like the egg. It's an idea of a person. It's an idea. It's an idea of what it's a template for a person, but there's no action in that egg. There's no person that develops until that sperm, until the masculine comes in, infinite love and gratitude. So it's the same thing with your life. Your life is a great idea, but if you don't have a relationship with the masculine and you don't understand, Father God's not just source, and God is not a woman. In love and gratitude, I don't even want to talk about that anymore. It's like, if you don't know him, then you don't know him. And I guess she also believes that Christ Yeshua was just kind of nuts as well, right? Maybe she should read the Christ Blueprint, because that, I really mean that. Check out the Christ Blueprint. Like, please read the book. Please read the book in flow of gratitude, and maybe you'll understand why the masculine a little bit more. And that book goes very, very in depth into the feminine as well. But if anybody, had questions about the feminine, that has been so misinterpreted. Everybody said, "Oh my God, the divine feminine's coming back and it's going to save us all." Y'all got to understand, the divine feminine got in a whole lot of trouble. And God put her ass in time out, man. Infinite love and gratitude. It is the feminine that has almost destroyed this planet time and time and time again. It is the feminine that has hurt the masculine. Infinite love and gratitude. And so it's wrong. It's not about the divine feminine. The divine feminine, infinite love and gratitude. Yes, there's a beautiful divine feminine. The ascended masters, if love and gratitude myth, has given us this beautiful interpretation. Have we played out the divine feminine here on earth? No. Women aren't acting right, period. With love and gratitude, not collectively, not on a whole. So there we go. Maybe this great awakening will get that divine feminine back in order and off the bench. But right now, with love and gratitude. In fact, Dad had to get the feminine out of the way on the planet. And I hope if people have a question on this, let me know. Just so the boys could heal, so we could do this literally, because she has done so much harm to the masculine psyche. women like this on YouTube making comments like this. Talking about Dolores Cannon, who, by the way, Dolores is wonderful. I love her work, but doesn't mean that everything. Dolores didn't channel Abba either, so she's right. Source. Okay. Any other questions? Let's go. Let's keep more questions. I love this. Only on YouTube. Only on YouTube.
I'm trying to organize them so that they kind of go with what you're talking about. So we can go back to Trump. Samantha Flintstone on YouTube wants to know, will they find anything on the raid of Mar-a-Lago? Mar-a-Lago. I think it was a setup. I think it was just a way because, you know, like there's something there. You know?
Well, what's funny though is for years though, I mean, I don't even know why it's necessary per se. Are they really going to find anything? No, he's not that stupid. So that's the first thing that comes to me. I mean, it isn't like, no, they're not really going to find anything. They're not going to really be able to make anything stick. They're just trying it out. I honestly don't really even understand. I didn't see this coming. And honestly, because I feel it's pretty inconsequential. I don't think it matters in the long run. And this is another thing. And I just got away. It used to drive me nuts. Now I just don't care anymore. But like, okay, I'm going to stick with the original read. Told y'all for a long time he was going to, just like back in 2016, people told me I was crazy. This, by the way, this was back in like April, May of 2016, well before the election. And I said Trump's going to win, and everyone's like, you're crazy. And I said, look, man, I know what God just showed me. Trump's going to be president. Was he president? Yes, he was. Well, at the same time, I was told that he would be a 3-term president, not 4, not 2, 3 terms. I stick with that as well. So, are they going to find anything at Mar-a-Lago that's going to like just kill him? No. Because I know the original read. The original read is he's going to be a 3-term president. And I love this because this is a great way to teach as well. Because it's taken me years to get this. Because working prophetically does not mean like you don't even need all the answers. If you listen to God, you don't have to question everything. I already know the answer to whether are they going to find anything substantial enough to put him in jail and really cause him any trouble. No, because I already know what God said. Dad said he was going to be a 3-term president and Trump is coming back. If it wasn't for him, world freedom wouldn't even happen. Infinite love and gratitude. So, do you guys get where I'm going again? I hope I'm kind of testy tonight, which I kind of like. With love and gratitude. It's funny because the woman on YouTube that was talking about why Father God and why are you emasculating him, it just irritates me so much because it's just why lesbians make me crazy. It's this whole thing. It's like always the boys' fault. The boys, the bad boys. If it wasn't for the men are so bad and they're so men. They're just so men. They have hair and they smell and they're men and they do everything wrong. And alpha men, I hate alpha men. And just like, oh my God, just shut the fuck up. Like, God dang, you're just a crotch licker. Did I just say that? I did. I just said it. I don't care. I'm just so tired of it. You're emasculating God. Well, it was Jesus. I guess Jesus was emasculating God. He called him Daddy. He called him Abba. It's in the book. There's not the only one. I guess Muhammad was emasculating God because Muhammad, the great prophet Muhammad of the Islamic religion, also spoke of the Father. The Father in love and gratitude. I think it's in the Baha'i faith as well. Like, I'm just tired of these women with unfucking resolved issues, trying to see over it, man, over it. Just love and gratitude. Okay.
You're getting a lot of love right now.
You know what's worse than a bull dyke driving a Prius? A straight man that drives a Prius, okay? There's one thing worse than a lesbian, and that's a straight man that drives a Prius. That's because everyone's a lesbian, There's more balls than the man driving the Prius. That's why. Infinite love and gratitude.
As Hillary would say, vagina boy.
You want to say it again?
Hillary would say vagina boy.
Vagina boy. Okay, love it. Give love and gratitude. All right.
So a lot of love right now. Everybody's saying they fucking love you. You're hilarious. You're the best. We love you, Abigail. Chiming in, everybody's getting chills and certain things. Let's see.
More negative stuff. Bring it to me. Bring it to me.
Yeah, that's it right now.
What about beavers?
Abigail's not answering any personal questions. These are world questions, not personal questions. So if anybody has anything regarding politics or what's happening in the world right now, there's a story here to maybe take you into something else. Kristen Collins says, I was at the dollar store right before coming home. I was talking with a man at the store about following you on Facebook. He literally says, oh, I can easily remember that without writing it down. Noelle is my name backwards, and my last name is Justice. My first name is Leon. Chills on this. I just couldn't believe it. And everybody liked it, including me. So I just got chills too, because that's
I just got chills when you were reading it. Leon Justice, that's freaking awesome. I love that. Yeah, that's a great story. Thank you. That was Kristen?
That was Kristen. She also wanted to know about the midterms, and then you were in the middle of talking, and I'm like, I think she's answering your question with the original read, right? Because you're saying he's going to do 3 terms. So
yeah,
if you do cheat in the terms, he's still
but we're not having a 2024 election, y'all. They're not gonna let us vote. The war comes in 2023 next year. We got to see if it's right now. I don't know. That's the hardest thing about what I do. It's like, oh man, getting used to, just Dad explained to me one time, and when I tell you guys, like when I first went to do that reading, that was the first time I'd ever made a reading public, when I went public on Prince's reading. And then it was, no, that's not true. 2014, that's not true. 2014, I made the details of Lorenzen Wright's case public. That was the first time I had ever done anything public. You guys, I can't even explain what a shy person I am innately. And I've had to change my original template to this crazy degree, from one extreme to another, because doing this work, when you receive a reading, oh man, that was the hardest part about it, is to not question what I heard, to stick with the first read, the first stuff that I hear. The first reading that you get on anything, when it just comes down organically, when you're not expecting it, when you did not start the conversation, when you're comes out of nowhere, right? You're a little bit shocked. Whoa, what's happening? What did I just hear? What? You were murdered? What? The gun's in the pond? What? Cadillac, SUV, Cadillac, it just comes through so fast, you guys, as well. Sometimes it's just a picture, a word, and you got to grab it all. But that reading is the most powerful read for whatever it is, that first reading. And Dad has taught me all these years that you have to stick with that no matter what. And it is so hard not to go back and question. So the other day, we were talking about, because I've been shown for some time that Russia is going to help us. Because I'm telling you right now, if we did not have help from Russia when this war starts, when China and company attacks, my understanding is we would not win it. We would not win it without their help. So the other day, and I love her for doing this, Claudine says, hey, look at this shit though. I mean, you say, Russia's going to be helping America in the war, but Putin is currently aligning himself with China. And that did, initially, I can't even explain the emotion. It kind of shocks me. It kind of irritates me. It creates anxiety, because it looks like it goes, right, that it directly, goes against, or that it directly conflicts with this reading that I received about Russia helping us. That's what it looks like. That kind of stuff, oh my gosh, it used to just, anxiety like 10 out of 10. It would eat on me, and then I'd worry about it, and then I'd try and read it some more, and then read it some more and ask again, and then ask for validation and watch for the signs. And now I can't do it anymore. I mean, not only that, it's taking a toll on my health, for God's sakes, doing this work. And so I've realized that if I'm going to stay in this game and I'm going to keep doing this work, I'm going to keep working with prophecy, I'm working with people individually and doing the cases, that I'm going to have to learn how to not care even more, how to literally just take it to the next level of I don't care, and the only way to do that is you stick with that original read. So I don't care what it looks like right now. I know what else Dad told me. He calls China England's basically the Queen's flying monkeys. Okay, and England is always getting someone to fight their war for them. And if they're going to come attack America, we used to be the ones to fight the war for them. So they had to get someone else to fight the war for them. So they got China doing it for them. And I know what Dad said. Putin cannot stand the Queen. He cannot stand Britain. He cannot stand the crown. And he can't stand one world order. He's not going to have China or the Queen or anybody else tell him how to run his freaking country. And he is not a nasty perv. He knows what some of these people are. And that is not what Putin is. And I don't care what anybody says. That is not who Trump is either. They both of those men have a respect for women that you don't find in a lot of men, but they actually respect an intelligent woman. Okay. And I don't mean to be rude, but it's women who act unintelligent and play the game and that whole thing, like what inflammatory gratitude. It just cracks me up because if I were a man, I'd have a hard time respecting certain women as well. And I'm not just, I understand it's people across the board, but I'm just so tired of the boys being picked on. Like said this before, but it's so freaking true. I can feel it in my core. If I were a man, I'd be so fucking gay.
Okay, so Kristen Collins, this kind of maybe will feed into that. Kristen Collins says, the person in my avatar is Maxton Soviak. He died in Afghanistan last year. Her question is, will there ever be justice for servicemen that died in Afghanistan last year? Speak of men,
Well, I don't know, first of all, when you say, will there be justice? That's such an open question. What kind of justice do you want? Will it be individual? No, the fact that the world is going to be free. I don't know how to explain it any more than this, but will the truth come out regarding everything? Yes. But are we going to be able to bring justice back for dead people? I don't know how to answer that question. Will the truth come out? Yes. So I don't know what you mean by justice. Will anyone actually serve time? Probably not. I don't even know if they'll be alive or if they'll be on Mars or taking classes with Sylvia Brown and Matt Damon. No. Gratitude. So again, I don't mean to be laughing at that. Does that make sense? Like everything that happened. Here's where I want to go. I want justice for John and Harriet Tubman. Okay. I want justice for John and Harriet Tubman. That's who I'm worried about. Like they've been waiting way longer than these poor people in Afghanistan last year. So do you see what I'm saying? Like there are so many people that need justice. Jordan Kirkendall needs justice. Young Dolph needs justice. Prince needs justice. I could go on all night. Like I could literally sit here for 3 hours and I could just list off names from memory of people that need justice right now. So I don't know how to answer that question except once again to say that everything that's in the dark will be brought to the light. That's all I know.
There's a guy here that's already asked the question twice. I kind of ignored it the first time. But he wants to know, his name is Miguel. And he wants to know what is the correlation between Lion King and Yeshua?
Well, it's basically the story. You could say, it's Mustafa and Simba. Simba's Jay and Mustafa's dad, Chills. We could dive into that and talk about, how the lions and stuff like that. But, basically we play the same archetypes and myths throughout movies over and over and over and over again. You can look at Harry Potter; he's Jesus. You know what I mean? Again, it's that same, energy. So yeah, but I will say this: The Lion King sounds kind of funny, but I mean it's one of Nevaeh, aka Heaven's, favorite stories or movies that
That's cool.
we've been influenced by. They reference it all the time. Another one that they love, that Nevaeh loves, that Dad loves to use is The Wizard of Oz. And again, that's because we could talk about the parallels. It's a lot like the work that Carl Jung did, and just seeing the myth in everything, the myth in your own life. And so, looking at that and realizing, like, all of us are the Dorothy character. That's all about learning about life, stepping away when the tornado comes and she ends up in Oz. We all have to break the imprinting from our home. We all have to walk the yellow brick road. I'm getting full chills right now. And each one of those characters, the lion and the Tin Man, they all represent another aspect of ourselves. And that's really what she was doing.
Heavy.
It was self-actualization, is what that entire, what the movie's really about. So same thing with The Lion King. The Lion King is really cool because not only that, but you've got Mustafa, who's Abba, and then you've got Scar, okay, who definitely he's the devil figure, so he's the bad guy. There's always, so I mean, you just see the same thing playing out over and over and over again. I don't know how else to answer that one, but hey, Miguel.
That was good, Abby. Okay, everybody's calling you Abby. I've never called you Abby before. Do you like that?
That's so funny. It's okay. What's funny, that's so funny that you said that, because for a long time, and I just got over it. I don't know how to make this kind of short, but I even have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful friend of mine in Texas, and I got kind of mad at him about a year ago for just calling me Abby without asking. But there was more to it than that. A lot more to it. And it was kind of like what I was going through, because, and I'm just going to speak it, I'm going to sound a bit like a vagina head, but I'm not. I'll tell you the difference. I speak what I feel, but I don't act it out every day. I get up every day, I get in the ring, man, and I knock out life as best that I can, no matter how I'm feeling. So that's the difference. But I do acknowledge that at this point in my life, being 53 years old, after the body of work that I've done, after, my accuracy, I just don't know how to say it, but I don't want to beat around the bush anymore. I don't care. My accuracy it's at 99%, in Love and Gratitude. That in Prince's case is 100%. No one's ever done that. In Lorenzen Wright's case, there's not a single detail that I brought through that was not proven accurate. And the same thing has happened in Prince's case. And not only that, but people don't understand. I've done that time and time and time again. I could ask people to come on here or give me references, and they would tell you that I read the case and I told them exactly where it happened to their loved one, where their loved one would be found, who did it, infinite love and gratitude. And I've just done this so many times that I'm so tired of the disrespect. So in a way, for a number of years, especially after Prince and after I was being asked to like put my own life on the line, give up my life, live on the road, spend every dime I made on banners, and I just felt very put upon, and then people asking for me of my time. And then on top of it, you think you can just call me Abby instead of Abigail, and you didn't even ask. Mm-hmm. It just felt like more disrespect, just more disrespect. And it's crazy because anybody with my accuracy would never work as a ministry or work with people for as little as I do. You'd have to pay $200-300 just to get 45 minutes with John Edwards, and I'll read circles around that motherfucker ass. Infinite love and gratitude. So it just got frustrating. What's funny is I don't mind it, and I love that you said everyone's doing that tonight, because I literally I think it was about a week ago, I sent a birthday gift to my friend in Texas, and I signed it Abby to let him know I was over it now and I'm okay to go back and be Abby. So, and I don't mind. When I was growing up, most people called me Abby. I remember I was at a certain point, I think it was after my father died when I was 17, I decided I was Abigail. I was tired of people not treating me with respect. And I was tired of people deciding they could just call me what the fuck they wanted to. Like, why do we think we could do that to each other anyway? And the thing is, I do it to people, as well. I love to shorten people's names. I'd rather, and to me, it's like, because I love them, you know.
So we've been on for an hour and 19 minutes. Are you wanting to close up right now, or do you want to keep going?
We keep going a little bit longer. It's just been one I don't want to stay on like all night. And then again, I just tonight
I've
it
got
felt
another question for you.
okay. We'll go there. Thank you. And
Okay.
I appreciate everyone because it's a little different having someone on here with me and not just kind of rambling myself. But I love Claudine. Thank you so much for being on tonight. And then, as I said, so I don't want to stay on too late tonight, but we'll come back and do this again, and I'll be more comfortable next time.
So Kristen Collins from Facebook is asking about Meghan and Harry must have found out. I guess you were talking about something, so I didn't write down exactly what you were talking about. So maybe about the Queen being a lizard and the flying monkeys. And this is why they left England. And she's like, maybe I need to rethink about them and where they're, I don't know, where they lie with everything, with the Illuminati. I mean, you're born into the Illuminati. That's it. You can walk away from the crown, but you're still part. I would imagine you're still part of the Illuminati, right, Abigail?
But I just got was, I mean, that would be their choice. Certainly. What was the question though? What's funny is that they're coming up because I don't think they're going to make it. I've always seen them being taken out. But I'll tell you this, like he's getting so tired of her. Can anyone validate that that's true?
Okay.
Like, he's getting really tired of her, I believe. I feel like I feel like he feels like he might have been a little misguided by her. I think he's tired of the control. I think he's tired of all of it. I honestly think Harry's about to.
Who is he tired of? The Queen or Meghan?
He's tired of Meghan. In public gratitude, he's tired of Meghan, man. And the mess that they've gotten themselves into. And the mess that he's gotten himself into. And I feel like he's 2 steps from losing his noggin. Yeah.
Wow, I've never heard you talk about them.
Yeah, I don't. Well, this has just come up recently, and so it's funny someone else brought him up. I mean, Claudine knows that some of the people that talk to me, just on the phone or stuff like that sometimes. But sometimes it just drops down like this morning, and so that's why I'm hoping next time we can get kind of more into a channel when I'm a little bit more used to this platform. I also get a little weird when we go back out, like because I know we're on YouTube and the YouTube energy is always so fucking weird. Because again, you guys, it's so funny. I do not do this I don't do this to get as many numbers and have people just out there. It's not the thing. I really like to have people that I know, which again, sounds crazy, but anyway. So going back to the Meghan and Harry thing is like, that's been coming through a lot. Spirit has been talking to me subtly. That's the only way I could explain it. And it's funny because lately they talk to me more about what's going on in Hollywood than anything else. What it feels like is that I already feel like Dad. It's so funny. Every time I say it, I'm like, oh, sorry, I don't mean to emasculate God. If I'm going to, but I feel like Dad. That's what I'm going to continue calling him because that's his name. I feel like he's already shown me what I need to know, what's really important about prophecy and about China and about Russia and about North Korea. And I feel like I already know who's coming. I already know when they're coming. And I feel like there's so much activity. There's so much that they're doing inside Hollywood right now. And as weird and shallow as it sounds, I don't know. Is it weird and shallow? I mean, that's where most of the nasty ass corruption is. I mean, a lot of it is. Infinite love and gratitude. And again, that's what captures people's attention. So God is going to work through Hollywood to grab the people's attention on the planet and to help wake them up. And I feel like some of this stuff that's going on in Hollywood is just helping to prepare for God to bring the truth about Prince's murder to the world. But again, going back to, just them subtly talking to me about different people, Harry and Meghan. And again, I don't, did they leave because of the things that they found out about the Queen? I don't know, you guys. All I can tell you is my channel stays with more with the 3D issues. So like, I don't know about, I don't really care about the clones or morphing into lizards or, I understand we're going to find out about all of that stuff, but man, I'm a healer. I'm a therapist. I'm all about studying human life, the 3D emotions, like learning how to alchemize and transmute them, how to switch your perspective, how to get through life, man. And when I start bringing in all of that weird shit, it just creates this irritation in me. I feel like I just want, it does, like, can we just focus on being human? And so what I would say is this, like, they left because they couldn't stand the pressure that was put on them there when you live over in England. So again, did they leave because the queen morphed into a lizard and someone saw it? I don't know. What I do know is that living under her thumb and being told what to do all the time was not something that Meghan was built for at all. It was causing major friction with her relationship with Harry. And at first, he was just like all into her. I mean, she was his it girl at first. And now I feel like he's getting tired of whatever this is that he's got himself into. Why did they leave? And I'm going to go back to this because Dad's bringing it up. I don't care what they say. The queen was pissed because Meghan's black. They have never had any black blood inside their lineage, infinite love and gratitude, and they didn't want any black blood inside the royal family. That's what she's pissed about, but I believe.
Oh, yeah. That's how they
Meghan,
killed Diana, too, right?
what's that?
That's why they killed Diana, too, because she was with Lafayette.
Yes, yes. Well, that's not the only reason they killed her. The queen was so, who was most jealous of Diana? Charles, because, oh my God, because he's one of those straight men that would drive a Prius. Love and gratitude. Charles was so fucking jealous of his own wife. Ask. He's one of those weird fucking narcissists, and he was so mad that Diana got all the attention that nobody cared about him anymore. It was literally like, just nastiness. That's how I feel about. It's the same energy I feel on J-Lo. Ask. Same energy I feel on J-Lo. In Flow and Gratitude. I'm just telling you, Ben better keep his nose like way high up her ass. Just my love. I mean, in Flow and Gratitude. And that's funny because I just saw this thing on him the other day and they said, how come every time they take a picture of him lately, he has a sad face? And I'm like, maybe that's because he's already regretting his choice too. I don't know. Infinite love and gratitude. But going back to, Diana, it was more because of the jealousy with Diana. Certainly they were not happy about her relationship with Dodi, for sure. But again, going back to Meghan, and I think we finished that up. Yeah, they're the royal family. They're racist. They're absolute racists. Are they going to tell you that? No, you're not going to get the truth from any of those fucking pervy people. Infinite love and gratitude. Any of them. They're pedophiles and racists. So that's what it goes down to, which is really funny because then their daughter, I just saw her the other day. I mean, she's got that red hair. Personally, I do not believe that Harry is Charles's son anyway. So I believe that came from an affair that Diana had with the bodyguard. I just got chills on that. So I'm going to stick with that. But yeah, Harry doesn't feel like Charles's son anyway. And that's probably why you get that conflict with them. You can almost see it. I mean, I realize all brothers aren't the same, but I think if you look at William and Harry, you can kind of see that they definitely came from two different masculine sources. Love and gratitude. Going back to masculating God. So I just think that's funny when people say that, though, because I guess Jesus masculated God too, right?
Yeah, good point. Right.
The great prophet Muhammad, he did the same thing. So okay. But who cares what Jesus said? Because Dolores canon. I just had to say that. Who cares what Jesus said? What Dolores said it. I mean, right? Whatever Dolores says. Fuck Jesus. Okay, go ahead. Just.
YouTube is bothering me too because I can't answer YouTube. So I'm only answering Facebook people. But I've said it once, I'll say it again. She's not answering any personal questions. If you
You
want
can
to
book
book a
a session.
session, yeah.
Yes, thank
If you want to book a session for an hour and a half, it's $111. She'll do 40 minutes for $88. Um, I've been answering, somebody asked about Prince, who murdered Prince. I copied the Funkatopia podcast. Posted it on there. So you could go to Funkatopia. You can listen to the hour and a half podcast. She talks in detail at that podcast exactly how, why, what, where, and who killed Prince. So check it out. And, the question, there's not a lot of, somebody said Taiwan, but I think you answered that when you talked about China and Japan.
What about Taiwan?
What about Taiwan was the question. There wasn't any other.
I feel like, but I don't know this for sure. I would tell you the majors, the most major thing that I'm shown, and I want to bring that up again as many times as I can because I feel like it's going to be huge at some point, is that Japan is coming with China against us. And that's so detrimental. And North Korea. So it's North Korea. Dad has called it the Asian invasion. I didn't make that up. I would have never said that. I would have never, ever called this war the Asian invasion. He also calls it the mother of all wars and the Asian invasion against America. Now, does that mean only Asians are coming against us? No, Britain's behind all of it. Britain is behind the Chinese takeover of America, but they're going to use China, Japan, and North Korea to try and take America down. Those are going to be the people who primarily come against us. However, they have help from Germany. Now here's the crazy part. I think I just got chills. This is making me cry. This is hot off the fucking heavenly press right here. And this is going to be interesting because this is going to be a worldwide war. I've seen the Eiffel Tower getting bombed and coming down. With that said, and I don't know exactly why or who does it or how that even happens. I just have to speak what I see. France was supposed to kind of come against us, and I believe they're going to change their mind. And again, I'm getting this heart blast. And it was funny because the other day I was writing, and it was weird because it was almost, I rarely automatic write, but this is making me cry. I need this because this is how I know it's right. This is like, France remembers, and so they're not going to attack us. I think like last minute something's going to happen, but France will not participate in this. And as I said, I kept writing the other day, France remembers. If it wasn't for us, France wouldn't be here today. And a lot of Americans lost their lives on French soil. So that makes me really happy. So France is going to remember. But again, who's coming after us? North Korea, Japan. That's going to surprise the hell out of people. But think about it. Look what we did to them. They've just been waiting to get us back. Come on, you guys. Really? Who else is coming? Again, Germany. In fact, we sold them weapons of war, warplanes. Lockheed Boeing sold them to Germany. They're going to literally use the planes that we sold them years ago to come after us. In fact, many of the weapons of war that will be used against America, we made because we have a shadow government that's been selling us out for years since Elvis was murdered and before. Ask.
And it makes sense because it fits into the agenda of, mass, reducing the population of the United States, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why they have our borders open. The minute Biden took over, right? They let everybody in. They were begging them to do something like they literally just opened up the borders and started letting everyone in. That it has nothing to do with our using them to manipulate our vote, like Candace Owen thinks. It has nothing to do with that. They can manipulate our vote without bringing in 1 million Mexicans. Oh my God! In Father Gratitude, they want to kill those people. They're letting it. It's literally like Mexico getting rid of all the bullshit, all the single moms, the drug dealers, all the people with no jobs. And for the love of gratitude, they are just putting them all in America because they know that pretty soon the bombs are going to start dropping and they're going to be targeting our inner cities. That's where most of these people are going to find themselves because that's where they're going to be able to afford little shitty apartments in the inner cities. And that is what is being targeted when they take down America. Infinite love and gratitude. There's going to be so much infrastructure lost. And it's funny because people are like, oh, China would never want to, screw up our infrastructure. Fuck that. You know how much money they make rebuilding? It's why they burn all of California every year. Infinite love and gratitude. It's the Rothschild. I think it's the Rothschilds or the other Rothschilds, and the other are. It's one of those families that owns PG&E. They own most of the power companies in the United States. And they're responsible for the fires up in Paradise and most of the fires in California. So anyway, going back to that, so are they on a state level, because that was part of making Trump pay California when he refused to give them the money in the first place. If you guys remember that, when he first took office, he took away California's money. So they were like, fuck you, we'll just burn it down and you'll have to pay us anyway. That's what happened. It's so dumb. People are like, what's happening? It's so fucking in your face what happened. It's in your face. Infinite love and gratitude. It's just like you burn the business down, you collect the insurance on it. Hello? The mob's been doing this and our government's been doing it since the dawn of time. Infinite love and gratitude. Who killed Prince? Fuck, that's dude. People are still asking that? Well, through the chefs. It was Ray Roberts, the drugs in his juice, but it was Warner Brothers that paid them. They were paid plants, Ray and Joel Roberts, and they're not the only ones. There were more people. His sister Tyka's in on it. So is Marona Corona, his whatever person, and yeah, we could go on and on. A lot of people were in on it. Kirk Johnson knew exactly what was going on. Yeah, flowing gratitude. But Ray Roberts made the fruit smoothie, and he's the one that physically, with his hands, put the drugs that he was given into the fruit, the tonic that Prince drank that night. Love and gratitude. There was also more arsenic or poison in his food in the refrigerator, which is why it should have been a murder scene. This was a murder scene. And you know what they did? They were allowed to they dumped the contents of the refrigerator. They put his dinner down a fucking garbage disposal. It was a murder scene. You guys get this? Love and gratitude. I just want to... One day I want to bring that up, but one day it is going to be allowed. Many of you may know that I did this, but I literally wrote my own lawsuit. I did have help from a friend, a client for years. I helped her get through law school. And I wrote a paper and I filed it. I filed a wrongful death suit on behalf of the people for Prince. And I stated that because he's an icon, he belonged to the people. He doesn't, whatever else. And it was thrown out of court, but at least I did it. And they tell me one day that we're going to file a class action suit for the wrongful death of Prince Rogers Nelson, and it's going to stick next time. It's going to stick next time, and we're going to take the estate down. We're going to take the estate down. Infinite love and gratitude. The estate will not own Paisley Park. The estate will not own anything Prince ask. The people will. The people will. Infinite love and gratitude. Full chills on that. I hope you guys felt that.
Are you ready for another question?
Yeah.
What do you think about the Havana syndrome? I don't know what that means. I don't know what the Havana syndrome is.
I don't know what it is either. So what's the Havana syndrome?
I'm Googling.
I don't know. It's 9:44 right now when someone asked that question. By the way, 44 is a stamp of heaven. You're Googling. I'll let you Google then.
Okay, Havana syndrome is an alleged set of medical symptoms with unknown causes experienced mostly abroad by U.S. government officials and military. The symptoms are hearing a sudden loud noise, pain in one or both ears, feeling of pressure, vibrations in the head, tinnitus, visual problems, vertigo, nausea, cognitive difficulties. I wonder why it's called the Havana syndrome.
Yeah, I don't know why either. But I mean, as soon as you talked about the head, I was like, oh yeah, it's focused on nervous system. A lot of what they're doing too with the vaccines is focused on the immune system and the nervous system. So it's going to have something to do with vaccines that are required in the military. So, but
I guess they call it the Havana syndrome, mass psychogenic illness, and the real story behind the embassy mystery and hysteria. I'm Cuban and I don't even know about this. So
yeah, I don't know what else to say about that except that it doesn't feel much different than anything that's going on with the other vaccines and so forth. But again, it's something definitely that, I'm sure they got it in a vaccine with the military, something that's required. But I don't feel too much.
She goes on to say that it's being poisoned by the air conditioning in hotel rooms because it started there. I get it. Okay.
I don't know. I wasn't feeling that infinite love and gratitude, and then I kind of have a tough, and this I guess is kind of tough, but I feel like I've got to talk, and I just have to speak it. I really don't kind of believe in any of that. I mean, we all go through change, like your body speaks, and then you work with it, and nothing's permanent. I don't believe in anything being chronic. And I believe that anything like what I'm going through now with this, autoimmune, allergic response, whatever it is, this is something my body has to go through. Now, I do think it's funny because I have a regular client that I've had for 14 years, and she is vaxxed and boosted and everything. And everyone said, oh, don't get around them. Don't, can I give her a massage, right? I do feel that sloughing is real. And what's weird is she also had an autoimmune allergic response and has had to be on prednisone. Our symptoms are a little bit different, but the dysfunction is so similar that it's kind of weird that this started happening to me after I got back to Memphis and started working on her. So most people would be like, aren't you scared of that? No, there's no way for me to not come into contact with people who've had the vax. I've got to live my life. If I'm going to go shopping, if I'm going to leave my house, I'm working an extra job now to survive as long as I can. This doesn't flare up again. By the way, that's probably why I'm a little grumpy tonight, you guys. I can't eat like anything. No, my root beer's gone. My sugar's gone. No beer, no cigarettes, no wine, no seltzers, no anything bad, no bacon, no anything. I can't have a pastrami sandwich even if I want to cheat. And I've got to try and keep this inflammation down and get this response changed. But again, going back to that, like I don't see anything, even though no matter what it is, it's for my positive in the end. It could, is it miserable going through it? Yes. Has it been 10 out of 10 pain at times? Absolutely. But I also know that it's for my good because no weapon formed by the enemy. So like for someone to tell me that an air conditioning unit in a hotel room can fuck me up chronically, no, it can't. Not me. Maybe it can you because you believe it will, but I don't believe it. And again, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just trying to share with you guys. And what I'm saying is not crazy. People are always like, that's so crazy. She thinks she doesn't need doctors or whatever, or she can, I'm a faith healer. My thoughts are creating my reality. And we now know that is true. In love and gratitude. So if you believe that there's a Havana, whatever, that, flu or whatever it is that they want to call it now, that you could get from an air conditioning unit in a hotel room, which by the way, over the last 10 years, I have stayed in so many fucking hotel rooms, cheap ass hotel rooms with mold in the fucking air conditioning unit and everything else, being on the road. And I don't have the Havana syndrome in love and gratitude. I don't know if you, again, I'm not a military personnel or whatever, but I just don't believe in that. Okay. I just do not. I mean, I know right now I walked in the other day and the house that I'm in, it's not a bad house. It's good. It's all right. It's love and gratitude, but I'm in a lower red district, especially when it rains. I'm in Memphis. I can smell the mold. Some people be freaking the fuck out. Oh my God, I'm going to die. Maybe that's why I'm having this allergic response. It could be, but I know God put me here. And I know that if I move through this process, that I'm going to be healthier, and on the other side of my immune system is going to be stronger for all of it. So I've just learned to be more accepting of the process, no matter what it is. And again, you guys, just so you know where I'm at, if I can't get a doctor to work with me fast enough, I don't know any other alternative. If my elimination diet doesn't work, I'm going to have to put in notice on my house and go move in one little room with my mom. I'm going to have to sell everything here, and I'm going to have to wait until whatever this is, my immune system decides to reprogram and readjust itself. And I know that it will. I'll be stronger on the other side for it. But you guys, I hope you guys get what I'm saying. If you believe that kind of stuff can get you, then it does. And this is a big thing to talk about too, because you guys, some of you, if you took the vax and you're starting to get worried that you took the vax, okay, then you need to do this every day. You have to say no. I don't believe that any weapon formed by the enemy is going to prosper in any way, shape, or form in a negative way against me, because I'm a believer, period. Infinite love and gratitude. So ultimate surrender. And then, as I said, I don't worry about the rest of it. I'm just, I hope that made sense.
Sorry, I had to put some lights on.
Oh, it's okay, love. I know we've been dark here for a while. It's just getting dark out in California now. It's just 8,
Just looking at some of the things that came in. Yeah. So, I guess the woman who asked about the Havana syndrome is that she's on prednisone. So
that's what I've had to be on.
Maybe she thinks that that's maybe one of the, that's what she has. And so she doesn't necessarily believe in it. She just was asking what you thought about it. Maybe book a session with Abigail.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd like to know more about this whole thing, because I know so many people right now that have been prescribed prednisone. And I mean, I found myself having to take it. If you guys saw pictures of me, like, I'm not kidding, when it gets bad, I look like the Elephant Man. I mean, you can't see my eyes. My entire face swells up. My skin dries up and cracks. I can't get any moisture in it. It's miserable. It's one of the most painful things I've ever experienced in my entire life. And I mean, so at that point, I'll beg for some prednisone to get me back out of that, cycle. And again, I've been over the months just adjusting my diet. The way that I look at it, so it'd be interesting to me, to talk to someone else who's like going through the same thing, because I think it's whatever they're doing with regard to the vaccinations. I think it has a lot to do with COVID and depopulation, why people are having these autoimmune allergic responses that are requiring prednisone to bring the inflammation down in our bodies. So anyway, I would love to, as I said, kind of dive into that a little bit more. If anybody else is having the same types of issues, please shoot me a message on there now. And I'll kind of keep working on it as well. And again, I'm not trying to get on anybody. It's hard for me to tell. So you guys, please don't take me personally when I'm talking about it. Like, I'm not saying that, whoever asked about that didn't have enough belief or whatever. I just feel like I have to share, I don't want, especially in these times, there's so many things to be fearful about. Don't do it, because that fear is what's going to weaken you most. Makes sense? It's just your beliefs that you can be harmed.
Right. And there's been a lot of questions, both on Facebook and YouTube regarding, all the conspiracies. Like, this has been going on for years, probably before you even recognized that it was going on, right? So the chemtrails, the water, Flint, Michigan, everything, whether it's coming through our food, genetically modified food. So instead of going on and on and on about the conspiracy, maybe we go on and on and on about how to heal ourselves. And I think Abigail talks about all different styles of healing, spiritually, mentally, and physically. And the best way to go about it for you personally, instead of being on a forum talking about the water and the syndromes and the air conditioning, is maybe booking a session to figure out exactly what is going on in your body. That's how I would feel,
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that. And that, I mean, I'd agree. I mean, I would agree. And that is, I love that you brought that point up, because that's kind of, yeah, that was perfect, Claudine. That was perfect. If love had to, because it's like,
we just have sex with a guy that's been vaxxed, and it's like, oh shit, what's going to happen to me, and it's like, whatever, it's like we're in a war, and that's understood. And then from there, if you keep focusing on it's just basic quantum physics, right? And this is what Abigail talks about all the time, right? It's your mindset. And that's why we need healing sessions to remember, right? You know, Dolores Cannon, whatever, she's great. She talks about meditation. She talks about the same thing, actually. And so why it's not reinventing the wheel, it's about remembering who you are. Yes, it's my dad was grooming me at the age of 12 because he was doing black ops for the American government. I've been knowing about this stuff since I was 12. That was 1982.
Yeah.
So
it was going on before that even. Do you know what I mean?
well, yeah, of course it was. But it's just that's when I was getting groomed.
Yeah. No. I'm just saying you're right. And the whole thing is it's been going on longer than you and I have been alive.
Yeah, somebody just said, Abigail always says, put your heavenly armor on. Thank you, Cecile.
And the other thing I love too about, as far as, booking a session, you guys, that would be a really great thing to do. When I tell you guys, I work daily with Dad on supplements, vitamins, and herbs, the bioidenticals. There's a lot of things that you can do. Your diet, going in and looking, and everybody's different. It doesn't mean that just because this works for one person, but to get in there and really read your body and to learn how to read your body for yourself, because it's not about doing the same thing every day for your body either. Gratitude. Not even supplements need to be taken every single day. So anyway, yeah, that definitely, thank you for that, Claudine. Yeah. Let's take a couple more, and then I'm kind of tired tonight, and I want to.
Yeah, you've been on for 2 hours almost. We have all kinds of symptoms if it's being done to us. Yeah, people are just sort of talking amongst each other and agreeing with you. I don't see any specific questions. Does anybody have any last questions? Tammy just said the Maker's Diet. Abigail suggested. She's talking to somebody else. I guess
diet's phenomenal, you guys. I mean, it's really basic, but if you're talking about the book, I've had the book for years, and so yeah, highly recommend the Maker's Diet, especially. And again, if you feel pulled to be more vegetarian, or if you really feel called to be vegan, that's fine. A lot of what I'm getting right now, though, is that with the stress that's coming up in the world, the stress that we've all been under, and with the attack that's been put on us, most people need more protein than a vegetarian or vegan diet is going to support for right now. So, and that's, again, it's not that we're not moving in that direction. I'm just saying that a lot of people, especially with some of these autoimmune issues, it feels like there seems to be some sort of connection with protein and with meat for some people. And again, it doesn't mean everyone. If you feel called, you think you're doing great on your vegan diet, that's awesome. And full of gratitude. But very few people can carry off that vegan diet in a really healthy way. In full gratitude, especially not with the stress that we are currently under.
It's because we're so alike, it's hard not to get irritated too. But I will just go here. Hillary says, will the banks drain everyone's accounts and collapse the stock markets?
Say it again. Will
the banks drain everyone's accounts and collapse the stock markets?
Okay, let me see if I can get an answer to that one. All right, Hills. It reminds me of my mom because she's really focused on all this, and she's bought her dinar and her dims and her whatevers and her XLRs and her P's and her Q's and
gold and silver and Nasara.
I don't feel called to worry about any of it. I feel like it's all going to straighten itself out. But again, it's like, it's hard for me to read that because I've spent the last 13 years learning, and I'm when I say I'm still not there, which is why I had to tell y'all I can't work for free right now, man. I am broke. I can't pay my bills in love gratitude because of where I've been, physically. At the same time, I don't worry about it. Wherever I end up is going to be fine. I always have what I need. I'm not going to starve. In love gratitude, it's just But with that said, like, so it's really hard for me to like worry about whether the stock market's going to crash or to even want to read it. Not to mention, Dad doesn't really talk to me about that very much. Let me tell you what I did get the other day. I believe that is it called XLR or XLP? What is that? XLR? Is that the new money? Because do not buy Bitcoin or whatever that's called.
XRP. I think there's an XRL too, or something like that. Yeah.
I think it's the XRP, but it's one of those, and it's there. I've known this, I guess, since 20. So let me go back to the original read. 2016, I was told that we basically would have like all new currency, whole new government, two-party systems coming down. The money's changing in some way. Okay, I don't know if it's going to look that much different than it looks. I don't know if that has anything to do with art or whatever. I mean, but yes, our money and our structure is going to be changing. Are the banks coming down? Are they going to take everybody's money? I just don't think so. I just don't think so. I don't think so. But the thing that I would say is that I really don't know. I really don't know. And what's funny about that, Hills, is that this whole process of being free and the changes we're going to go through and the war and all of that, it's supposed to get us all to not care about money, because we've got to move to a society that is not based on monetary things anymore. We all have to realize that we truly are taken care of. If God's done it for me all these years, and man, I mean, I am not in any way like, I mean, we're all good people. I'm not a perfect person, but he has supported me and I've been able to make it. You know, was it hard? Did I make a lot of money? No, but it's like, none of us are going to have to rely on that. We all need to come into a place where we're not worried about money anymore. I don't really have my words tonight. And again, I'm thinking next week, because we're going to try this again and it's going to get a little smoother. For me, I think I'm the only one that's been a little bit weird just about being on different platforms tonight and having all these questions and working with somebody else. And so with that said, I hope I'm making sense tonight, but like, are things going to get bad? Yeah, the fucking war is coming. In flood of gratitude. Like, you might not be able to access your money. I don't know what that looks like, but here's the thing. Years ago in 2016, before I even knew the word Nasara Gasara, and many of you might remember, but it was not too long ago, I told you all, the corporations were coming down. I did many lives about this. I was yelling about AT&T, those lion-ass, one-eyed bastards. You're going to have to pay us all back. If love and gratitude. We were talking about all these companies that are going to have to pay the people back, and how the government is going to have to pay the people back because they've been stealing from us. So that's where you need to stay. Like, maybe you will lose all the money in your bank, and maybe your stocks won't mean shit, and maybe your insurance company, your insurance policy might not mean shit. In flow of gratitude, I don't know, but none of it matters, because we're all going to be taken care of. The world is going to change in such a positive place. Is it going to be a tough period of time getting through that? Yeah, we're all going to have to rely on each other. I mean, we all might have to help feed one another. We might all have to stay intense. We might have to, I don't know. It's going to be a fucking war, like the mother of all wars, but love and gratitude. So, like, is it going to, I'd be dumb if I sat here and told you it was going to get bad, but I think worrying about stocks and your money, that's the least thing we need to worry about, if that makes sense, because we're all going to be fine. We're going to be better financially when we come through it. Is it going to be easy getting through it? I highly doubt it. In full gratitude, I think that's the whole point. It's not supposed to be easy coming through it. I hope that answered it.
Because it also speaks to everybody what they were just, all the stuff that's happening, and the microwaves and the drones. Somebody said there's drones over the star system.
So what? So what? 5G's never bothered me a single day. And then people will be like, oh, this 5G is killing me. Oh, the mold's killing me. None of it, it's not bothering me. Do I have my problems and my challenges? Absolutely. I'm just going to move through them. I'm not going to stop and give anything like that power over me.
Okay, now I'm going to lose my shit because somebody on YouTube just said Prince died of, it's a troll. He died. His death was a suicide. So I'm
Oh
just
my God. Oh, that's just funny.
yeah.
Don't get mad. That they think Prince committed suicide for real.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
I don't know.
no. They found you on YouTube. Get off. It's time to.
Oh my God. They really think Prince committed suicide. Suicide. What he just started a brand new piano tour. He had all these plans. He'd written new music. It doesn't, there was no suicide. He didn't write a note. There's nothing about him that even looked like suicide before he died. That's just the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life. And on top of it, does this person realize, with love and respect, does this person understand that there were enough drugs in his system? One of those drugs, it wasn't even on the market. He didn't have to go to that extreme to commit suicide. Nobody would. And one of the drugs wasn't even on the market, but not only that, but there were enough drugs in his system to kill an adult-sized elephant, if not a herd of elephants. Some people argue over how much, but I was told an adult-sized elephant, basically like 13, 14, or 22 princes, because Prince was a little guy. If love and gratitude, and adult-sized elephants get really big. If love and gratitude, there were enough drugs in his system. Nobody accidentally takes that many drugs, and nobody would intentionally take that many drugs. 4 drops of this stuff could have killed him. Ask
This
Dr.
is a troll.
Schwartz.
This is a troll. This is a troll.
Oh,
Everybody, all of your followers believe in you. This guy, he's like, he died over vanity. Vanity died February 15th, 2016. You even got the date wrong, idiot. Oh God. Vanity died February 15th, 2016. Just whatever. This is one we've been on here for too long. Yeah.
all right, it's time for bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
All right.
argue with somebody like that. So
Anyway, well, Claudine, I really appreciate you being on tonight, baby. Thank you very much.
everybody loved us together, or I think everybody did.
Okay.
And everybody's just giving you love, and they're praying for you, and infinite love and gratitude, and everybody's just really happy.
Okay, awesome. Well, we'll be on here next week again. We're gonna give it another shot. Yeah, you want to come on next week?
You know how I've been doing this. Wait, hold on.
What are you doing?
I
What are you doing?
want to get that symbol over my eye.
Oh, that's right. You had it right in the middle earlier.
I was trying to do it.
There you go. You got it. You got it. That's funny.
I didn't know what that symbol was, and Abigail told me that it's God's loving eye, God's loving, because I thought it was the prince's symbol.
It's just a love angel.
Love angel. I have to.
Yeah, Jay calls it the love angel, and that's been since that was quite a bit before Prince died. Actually, when Jay Project was born, Jay brought me the Ankh with the wings, and so anyway, that's what that is. Yeah. Which is
I also want to say, this just popped in, that ever since I started listening to Abigail and talking to Abigail and having sessions with her, and all of my friends, by the way, I feel like I have more ability to access or tap into something that I didn't know that I could tap in before I met Abigail. So that's my feeling, about her special intuitive healing therapist, being on the 3D reality alchemist, how she helped me switch my perspective. And it was because of one of the conversations we had about God, and God being, daddy. And I think it's brilliant, and it resonates with me. So thank you for having me on. And it was, it was good. It was fun. And I get how interesting this is. And, having energy and sharing energy with other people and helping other people, and then having people say things that are kind of crazy and misunderstanding. And so it's good to see that from your point of view.
awesome. Well, thank you for that, and also thanks for bringing that up, because that's my greatest passion, is to have other people. Everyone can do what I do. Anyone can have a psychic relationship with God, gratitude for the purpose of connecting with your spirit guides and the masters that are here to guide you to your destiny and get to the reason that you're actually here and experience your destiny instead of your fate. And when you see people really start to tap into that relationship, that's the greatest joy. That is my greatest joy. I don't want to say more so than justice, but in a different way. Do you know what I mean? Justice is like a bittersweet thing, but watching somebody awaken to that relationship with God and start receiving that direction in their life, it's just that's it. I mean, what else is there? You know. So thank you for that. Thanks everybody for being on tonight. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. And thanks for dealing with me. I know I was a little grumpy, so I appreciate everybody. If love and gratitude, but next week I'll probably be grumpier because I'll be even more days into. I guess I want to call it an elimination diet. Basically, I have to watch everything that I introduce into my diet to see if I, start responding or reacting to it. And it's a real pain in the ass. I'm a little ticky about it, but I'll be all right. I'll be all right. I'll be better for it in the long run. So anyway, love you. Thank you, Claudine. Mwah.
Bye, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being on tonight. We appreciate you guys. And again, I loved what Claudine said tonight. Stop focusing on how they're attacking us and start getting mentally straight, guys, and physically straight. Do 3 things for yourself this week, okay? If I can do it, I'm grumpy as hell, so let's all be grumpy together. This is not the time in life, especially when it's stressful. I'd rather, eat sweets or, drink seltzers or have a beer. But I can't do that right now. And I think that's what we all need to do. We all just need to really, really take care of our bodies more, take care of your stress level, take care of your mental state, and make sure that you stay here with your heart. Okay. Keep your eyes focused on him, and we'll see you guys next week. Good night.
Good night.